What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Questionable Perspective Podcast here with your host, FGC Chris, and my co-host, Mr. phdjeshua. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing well, man. How about you?
Doing good. We've got a lot of topics on the table tonight, guys. One that I'm especially happy to talk about, one that has always been in my heart.
The Super Bowl of the FGC, EVO.
Mm, nah, not really.
What?
This one's a little short, red, gi wing person.
All right, listen, we'll get to her later. All right. Topics for this podcast episode: EVO Line-Up, the introduction of Mai Shiranui to Street Fighter 6. I hope I pronounced that last name correctly. And
It's
a
it's my Shiranui of the Shiranui school.
all right, listen, it's Japanese. Forgive me. Okay. I'm learning it, but it is not always easy to pronounce everything in that language. Thank you. And the last bit of our podcast is going to be sort of a controversial topic. It's going to be about infiltration. For
Mm-hmm.
those that know, the man has been lifetime banned from several tournaments and everything. And technical, some of you know who that is. This gentleman has done deep dives into like Leffen, the victims of Leffen. These are just some videos. And it took him quite a while to do this investigation. I was very curious to see what he found. And so we may skim through the video and such. So let us go to the first topic. Good old EVO lineup. All right.
Yep.
The top 8 is going to be Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Guilty Gear Strive, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, Under Night Inverse, something, Mortal Kombat 1, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Chris, which are you most excited to view in the top 8?
Probably the two I'm most excited are going to be City of Wolves and Tekken and Guilty Gear. But I'm probably going to check in on Marvel vs. Capcom 2 just to see how that's going to play out because I'm expecting a lot of old players to come out.
Oh, there's definitely going to be some old heads popping up, and you're definitely going to see some, I think, newer players to step up to the plate to try to win the title. Because after the release of the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection,
Mm-hmm.
there have been some like crazy people coming out of the woodworks, and whew, it is the leaderboards are it's bloodthirsty there. That's all I can tell you.
Hey, once you get caught in them infinites with
Well, it's the infinite, then the reset, and you pray and hope you
what's name Cable, watching Cable play when he had the tournaments and stuff, and
hyper
how
viper,
he when
three
he's
hyper
playing.
viper beans. The
I was
dude's
talking
also
about
really go
I was
ahead.
talking about this. I was talking about the storm loops.
Oh god, the Magneto loops, oh Iron Man loops, just oh, it hurts. It hurts to think about because of the bad memories of playing the 360 live days. All right,
Mm,
now just to get a little bit further in the video, these are going to be the other games that are coming up. That'll also be shown at Evo, but remember your mainstay are the top 8 here. We got Rivals of Aether 2, Virtual Fighter 5, Revo,
Revo.
Revo, King of Fighters 15, Blaze Blue, Central Fiction, I believe, is this version,
Yeah.
Killer Instinct, and then some other mystery ones. I think Smash may show up. Might see. I don't know. Because you know how Nintendo is with their broadcasting rights and everything.
Yeah. And when they had a chance to actually make it, actually partner with them, they basically ran Panda Global up out of there and basically lost the support of Nintendo. But that's
That
neither
was.
here nor there.
That's a sham in itself. But, Mr. Chris, out of these games, which are you going to be surprised? Uh,
Which one I'm gonna be surprised to see?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be more. I really want to check Mortal Kombat. Now that I think about it, because I want to see how many people are actually gonna put their money where their mouth is. Because they
And
keep talking about how this game is not dead, it's still popping. I'm like, okay, you're at EVO, the biggest tournament. So if you get blown up by Marvel vs. Capcom 2, what a almost 20-something-year-old game has more interest than your brand new 1-year-old game, yeah, you might well stick a fork in MK. It's done.
it's gonna be interesting to see what the next NetherRealm Studio game is if they make another
Oh,
one.
it's gonna be Injustice 3.
We'll see. As far as like surprise factor to me, it's gonna be Virtual Fighter 5 Revo. Because you're gonna have the old arcade heads come out of nowhere. And I mean these people breathe, eat, sleep Virtual Fighter. Period. So but definitely will check out a couple other things. I might check out Rivals of Aether. Rivals of Aether is probably going to be the more primary platform fighter, just because of all the shenanigans that come with Smash. Killer Instinct's going to be very cool to see. Now, even though Max Mode, which is going to be a local major tournament for here, and it happens in April.
Oh, not to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
EVO 2024 was Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Guilty Gear, Grand Blue Rising. It was KOF 15, MK1, Third Strike, and Under Night.
Huh. Okay.
So those were the eight core titles.
We'll definitely see how that goes. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves is a sequel to Garo Mark of the Wolves, for those that don't know. So that's a 20-year gap. And it's interesting that SNK chose to use the Fatal Fury IP for this. So there's going to be a surprise factor there for some like old heads from the Garo days pop up.
I don't think so. I think looking at KOF, I think they put KOF 15 out, and you can kind of tell that they're keeping the same art style. It's a little bit more cell shaded, but it's still the same art style. So it would be a lot easier for them to just port some of those characters from there over to this one and tweak them a bit.
No, they won't do that.
And to me, that's something I've been wanting from KOF. It's just like a straight, just one-on-one.
Well, we'll see who they put in there because this is a direct sequel to Garo of the Wolves, so they're mainly going to be putting in all the people that were from in that one and some newcomers. But we'll definitely see. Now,
I don't care. I got my girl. I get her in 2 games.
Oh, good lord! Only if they put Jury in City of the Wolves, you dropped tons of money on it.
She should have been there instead of Chung-Li. But I get the Chung-Li pick because her and Mai have a rivalry from the old Street Fighter SNK games.
Man, I hope we see an announcement for Capcom versus SNK 3. Man, I would just doing backflips in the backyard. Now, on to our more next section, Miss Mai. Now, we'll go ahead and just play the trailer for you. So Mr. Chris can enjoy it again.
Hey everyone, get ready to feast your eyes on the strongest Shiranui fighter around. Yo,
Slower.
Calm down there.
Show me what you have. I'm not gonna lose. Stay down. Really now? You shouldn't keep a girl waiting.
I hate how the fans are double hits.
I don't think it does it unless she has like the fire install on.
Well, you saw that one fan that hit and then does the twirl.
Yeah, it hits her and then it goes up in the air, but you see Chun-Li doesn't get hit by it on the second.
Well, she was in a throw too.
And I know they were saying with that one right there, you have to charge it. So it's like you have to hold it and charge it before she throws it to get that effect.
And you're telling me those aren't projectiles? I'm sorry.
No, they're not projectile. Not when they're regular.
Okay, fair enough.
Before she gets the fire install on them.
Jesus.
Hey, what are you looking at? Up here.
They know what they were doing when they made this trailer. Oh my god. And what's fun is she is going to be dropping the 5th of next month.
Mm-hmm.
That's the crazy bit.
And I actually might be taking a day off from work.
A day off from work.
Yeah, I'm already considering it to just go ahead and put in a vacation day. So as soon as I get off that, I believe that's a Wednesday. Is it a Wednesday or Thursday?
I don't know. I can't look at
I
my
think
calendar at the moment.
I think it is. Yep, it's a Wednesday. So as soon as I get off Wednesday, I can just sit up and just wait to click that button to buy her.
I feel sorry for Andy. She sort of stalks him. I never knew that until like some years ago. I was like, huh, never really paid attention to the story of this game. And I believe the voice actress is Rebecca Rose.
I am the pride of the Shiranui.
Sounds really good. The theme will be coming soon, so that's probably gonna be dropping next week.
Did they have the Japanese voice actors up there?
Not that I have seen on this site. I've just got mainly the screenshots and Rebecca's.
It's like they're keeping her very. They're doing the same thing as Terry. They're keeping her very KOF-ish.
Yeah, because with Terry, I mean, his command list is pretty good, and it's very interesting because the way they gave him it's like a side switch thing you have in like the old beat 'em ups, because it like changes lanes. Let's see, what was that?
And then they gave him a plus on hit fierce.
Yep. That's not it. It's passing sway. That's it. Jumping lariat. And hold the button, it goes further. It's just nuts, man. Well, I don't know what we're going to do when she drops. If she's
because I don't think she's going, like, her fans are not, they're more so for like setting up a lot of mix-ups to me from watching the video. And like her tail whip, her fire tail whip that's probably going to be like her main projectile blocking move.
Maybe, we'll see. I don't know till she like drops. I'm just glad she doesn't have like a crazy air fireball. Because
but she has her squirrel dive.
That's fine.
When she basically it's another dive kick.
I'm sure if it's spaced right, it'll be safe. But if it's not, punishable. But she has that one. She's 5'5" and 110 pounds. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. Let's see. She hates spiders. Oh, she's not gonna like Jerry at all. I can already tell.
She's a woman after my own heart.
You were part of the Foot Clan. You don't get to say anything.
I can't because I get both my ladies.
Someone just put me out of my misery now. This man. Please help.
And I'm like, hey, I get the best of both worlds. So now I get Mai and I get Jury and Street Fighter. And then I get another game with Mai in it.
You're a goofball. That's what you are. Anyways, on to our next thing.
And I am glad. And I'm gonna say this: thank you, Capcom. Thank you for not censoring her classic costume.
And Chris, I need you to wipe the side of your mouth there. I know you're drooling there a little bit.
No, because I fully expected them to kind of censor her costume.
It's not really censored at all. This is pretty much spot on what the classic is. They didn't even do it with cameos either.
I expected them to do what they did with Jury in 5 and put like the leotard up under her bodysuit thing.
Well, you know they fixed that this go around anyways. All right, now on to the more controversial topic.
Yeah,
Mr. Technical's video. Now he's done a lot of deep dive into this, and before anybody even in the comment sections, no, we don't endorse wife hitters or anything like that. But this whole situation just reeks of where the scene itself is just, it's like, oh, you did some. This is not a crazy like spouse abuse thing. Like honestly, if you've read the records and everything, the FGC really needs to stop like trying to like character assassinate people. It's one of the biggest problems that it has right now. And I need it to stop because God knows how many times we've had terrible people from the Smash scene, other scenes. God knows I ended up, oh God, what was her name? Because back when I was doing esports management for that one org, I was looking up for content creators and everything. I happened to end up like interviewing that lady and didn't realize who that lady was, and she was chasing a younger man of her age, which was crazy. Yeah. Go ahead.
The scene itself is kind of drawing down in this line where they want to go. They want to be esports, and now if they're on the witch hunt now for anybody who so much as breathes wrong, because they feel like this is the only way we can get to the big money, or the scene can get to the big money. We got to get rid of all these people, or it's just I just don't like this person, which we've seen that a couple of times with people making accusations instead of actually going to court or having this go through a legal means. Is kind of playing out on Twitter, and TO's kind of bowing to pressure from the community to basically get rid of a person before it's basically the due diligence has been done one way or the other.
Now, in my line of work, within retail, you hire all kinds of people. I've worked with convicted felons and they had no issues with them. Didn't know they were until they said something. I wonder how many people in tournaments are convicted felons or like, and what some of their heinous acts could have been. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you don't know what anybody's like background is until like they either say it or you find out the hard way. And I mean, Infiltration, I've met him a couple of times at some of the final rounds when they were going on. And I can tell you, boy, did the America corrupt that boy. When I say that, no, I'm not kidding. Not like actually corrupt him, but like him adapting or adopting some of the American slang and everything. Because like when you would see him when he first showed up, this dude was clean. I mean, wearing a button-up polo, khaki pants. And I mean, it chilled out to other things. But I mean, overall, I mean, it's not like you're being in the same room with the guy as like he's someone you have to like keep eyeballing and make sure he hasn't disappeared and slipped off to do something heinous. But I mean, that's just my experience of meeting him a couple of times. I can't attest for everybody else. Some people know this guy more personally, but we will dive into this video. And Mr. Chris, if I remember, you did watch this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna skip the this. I do like how they did have this little skit here. It's kind of funny. It's a 3-minute like Raycon ad. Now, the part I want to get to, I think. This Global Panda's response. EVO. Let's see here. I think we'll start here. Crime of violence, because this is where Recent Era came in.
Was why did he only get a minor fine of 700,000 won, or $630 at the time, out of a maximum of 5 million won, or 4,500, and only got charged with a crime of violence if he choked her to near death, beat her in front of the cops, and there's a mountain of evidence to prove it. Now that might sound confusing from a Western view of the legal system, but because Korea has so many problems with domestic violence, the law is actually far more specific when it comes to these cases. Let me show you what I mean. If you read the summary report of the verdict, Infiltration was charged with violating Article 260 of the Criminal Act in the Republic of Korea. What's even more interesting is that in this article, if the victim chooses not to prosecute the crime, the whole thing gets thrown away, which is something she actually offered to do on November 2nd in DMs, by stating that she wouldn't go to the detective's office and instead would reconcile through family court. But this is very important, the victim cannot object to prosecution in cases involving bodily injury, which are entirely different articles and charges. Meaning that for Article 260, you don't actually need to harm someone to be charged, but the threat of violence, or simple physical contact, could be designated as simple violence, as opposed to special violence, which would involve a weapon, or violence that actually results in bodily injury. For example, anything resulting in scars, bruises, broken bones or teeth, loss of consciousness, hair loss, etc. That would fall under Article 257, inflicting bodily.
This is where like the bruising of the wrist and everything happened. And this was very interesting to learn because everything that's been going on in South Korea, legal mindset, covering all that stuff, it's been a joy to learn how other legal systems work in some countries. Because, like with ours, we have several articles under God knows what covers what. But it says, as Technical said here, they've had to have a very specific set of articles done because of how bad domestic abuse has been. But we'll let this finish up real fast.
Injury on other or on lineal ascendant, which is like a grandparent or parent. A person who inflicts a bodily injury upon another shall be punished by imprisonment for not more than 7 years, or suspension of qualifications for not more than 10 years, or by a fine not exceeding 10 million won. That would already double the fines from before. That's just for bodily injury. The more severe charge is Article 258 for aggravated bodily injury. A person who inflicts bodily injury upon another, thereby endangering one's life, shall be punished by imprisonment for at least 1 year up to 10 years. There's not even a possibility for a fine here. And this is the exact article, given the Redditor's explanation, if accurate, that I'd assumed he'd be charged with. If he was in fact beating her for an hour, dragged her in front of the condo security and neighbors, continued beating her into attempted unconsciousness in front of police, and she won the criminal case with the proofs provided, like the email sent to Panda Global suggests, there's no fucking way they wouldn't have charged him with bodily injury. This dude must be tripping off Fent if he thinks I'm gonna believe that's what happened. However, in a shocking turn of events, she was diagnosed with contusions, which are bruises for the uninformed, across her body, and inflammation to the wrist a day later. Yet this didn't elevate the charges. Why? Well, surprisingly, according to her attorney, they never actually submitted this as evidence to the police, nor did they submit the recording. That seems a little odd to me. These people are either unknowingly celebrating a verdict they don't believe in, the Korean police are incompetent and really did give Infiltration a plea deal in spite of her injuries, or someone is not being entirely truthful, resulting in lesser charges. Yeah, I personally always consider lying to be far more plausible and exciting, but even that may still be up for debate. Who knows? If you couldn't tell, I'm not Korean, and therefore lack the home field advantage. But let's see what Panda Global had to say first. Look, Panda Global had access to the complete translated transcript from their incident report. Turns out, the excerpts from our leaker started 5 pages after the beginning of the recording and is only 7 random pages out of a total of 22. Panda Global highlighted 3 interactions they found the most important. The source of their conflict being a divorce, both Infiltration and his ex-wife threatening to report each other for assault. You report, I report. Let each of us report. Dude, you're reporting me for assaulting someone when I never did. Fucking dick. You didn't do anything. Isn't this assault? If I report you, you report me too. I told you I would report you.
Yeah, see, this is where I think Panda Global messed up with how this whole thing went. Because, I mean, if this was as egregious as it was, this man would be behind bars, as we've all just learned.
But we pretty much know why Panda Global did what they did.
Save face.
Save face, and more so, they were getting a lot of pressure from the scene
And
to
I mean,
basically let them go.
And I don't blame them, because I mean, the level of crime and everything, the way people hold morals, try to sit on the high horse here, is ridiculous compared to other things, but it's here nor there. I mean, what's even crazier in all of this is he served his bans. What was it, 2022, and he was supposed to come back. Then they gave him a lifetime.
Because he set out the entire 2018 Capcom, 2019 Capcom Cup seasons.
Oh yeah. Oh, and the bracket fixing. That's an interesting part of this video as well, because the guy that he was teaching to play Street Fighter V at the time was he was really good at another fighting game. So
yeah.
So that's where that
looked
issue.
at it. Most people will complain because he was bronze. He was an ultra bronze, but he had already been training like with Infiltration and other guys, on the Discord and stuff. So he was playing, but he wasn't playing in ranked. So his skill set was growing a lot faster, but his rank didn't reflect it.
Right, and so this is where the mishmash of it happening, and I believe that was with Africa TV. That's for those that don't know, that's Korea's Twitch, basically. And not to jump all over the place, because I don't want to take too much time on this one. That's the match fixing allegations. Now, for everything that we've had, there's a mention of someone's cousin in here. It's the ex-wife's cousin, who pretends to be a PI. Funny, and Technical mentions this in the video, because I don't want to go too far into it. You couldn't be a PI in Korea till 2020. So he got duped. And so the person has all this information and is putting out online. There's only 2 people that have it. It's Infiltration and his wife. And then the leaker being the cousin of the ex-wife, leaking all this out. And who gains the benefit, or get satisfaction of anything? His ex-wife destroying his whole life. Which literally happened.
Yeah, because she was CC'd in pretty much all his business. And so pretty much all like private contracts, messages, things like that got pretty much put on the internet for everyone to see.
It's just like, yes, and yeah, I know some people in the comments, I know people are going to be like this. Well, he held her wrist and caused bruising. Considering that situation, thankfully nothing crazy happened, but I mean, when the wife's being a bit hysterical, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, dude, in a situation like that. I can only pray and hope that nothing comes out, but I mean, thankfully nothing like crazy happened like they said happened. Because good Lord, if that did, the man would have been, as I stated earlier, arrested, in jail, no questions asked. But now, I mean, we're what, seven years from this whole incident now, and it's just, enough is enough. Let the man play the game. Like what It's like how much, and I mean how much dirt is on some of these people that are in the upper echelon of being commentators and everything. Like what shady stuff's in their past? What skeletons do they have to hide? Because I mean, I've seen some people make some outlandish claims like, "Oh, if I could tell you about some of these people," I'm like, and me personally, I I halfway can believe that there's definitely some stuff some people are hiding, but that's here nor there in this discussion. This is just who else has been banned? Actually, now that I really think about this, Infiltration is like the only player I have seen like receive such visual hate towards. It's like as far as like misrepresented information goes. Is there anybody else? I
Mm,
This is the only one I could think of.
well, it's like technically has some videos on other people like Tempest and other players like that, where just like
Oh yeah,
things happen,
well,
but it's not to the degree that he's gotten.
I think the Tempest stuff is far worse. Now that I really think about that, but it's.
And I'm gonna say this: like, we're not saying that he's like Infiltration is innocent in all this. Like,
I mean, he did do what he did, and he paid the crime. He paid the toll for it, literally a
yeah,
fine.
yeah. But the way people talk about it, you would think this man literally beat his wife in front of the entire community. The way people talk about it, like they visually seen him doing this to his wife. And me, I'm married. I've been married for about 6 years now. Like husbands and wives, yes, you do get into arguments with each other. Like there's not, don't believe this mess where you're gonna be married and you're never gonna have an argument. Y'all will always agree on everything. That's BS. There's gonna be times when y'all have disagreements, y'all have arguments and stuff like that. Not saying that not saying that gives you the right to put your hands on her, on your wife or your girlfriend or whatever.
Vice
But
versa.
those arguments, yeah, vice versa. But those arguments do happen. And if you really look at the information that was put in the case files, pretty much it was at the point where he wanted a divorce, she didn't want a divorce. That's what it really comes up to, because when he leaves, he goes back to his parents' house. You can see she comes to his parents' house constantly trying to get back with him. She's like, I'm done. I'm done with this. I want the divorce. It's over. They do attempt to reconcile around December, but she gets very irritated because she sees that he's talking to another female. And that's pretty much, in my mind, what spurred her to do what she's doing. Like, I'm just gonna burn your life to the ground because now I see that you got somebody else and you don't really want me.
And if I'm not mistaken, in this video, it's mentioned too that she tried to gather dirt with some of these other females he's dated in the past, and like none of them had anything bad to say. And it's like the only one that has anything bad to say is the ex-wife. So,
And it's like I'm trying to choose my words carefully because there's a lot of things I could say right here.
yes, don't burn down my channel, please.
Because like I understand that you and your husband are not on good terms right now. You're kind of on rocky terms. He's telling you, hey, money's tight right now. Finances are tight. And then you go take his credit card without his knowing, and then you buy a washing machine.
No,
I mean,
that credit card.
a dishwasher.
No, that credit card was given to her for living expenses.
But he was basically telling her, "Hey, don't spend no money because
Well,
things are
it's
kind
not.
of
I
tight
mean,
right now."
well, it's for living expenses, so like groceries or whatever. That I mean, groceries only run like maybe $100 or something. But she bought a dishwasher. That's expensive.
Yeah, and that seems to be the real more so the catalyst too, and somewhat the pretty much had him to the point where he was just done. And then with her breaking his EVO trophies and like there's wrong on both sides. More so on her side because of some of the underhanded things she was doing to try to ruin his career, and kind of has technically succeeded somewhat with her cousin, which we in the American FGC needs to stop trying to visualize the entire FGC from the American lens.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's asking a lot, but we'll pray and hope it happens. But
because I'm like, we're not in Japan, we're not in Dubai, we're not in Korea, we're not here. Like, you're talking about different cultures that see things from different perspectives. You can't expect them to see things only from, well, we don't like this and we do this in America. Okay, but they don't do it over there.
basically what I've always learned, as far as like any of these, like some crazy information pops up, it's like, okay, play it by ear, see what happens, see if something you like, if it's a developing story, try to keep track of as best you can. Stuff like this, you gotta let it play out, and because I mean, you saw what happened with him. He lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to
Yep.
build it back up is a pain in the royal.
And you have to understand, like, he with Panda Global, Razor, all his money, he had a 6-figure pay, 6-figure a year pay.
I think it was like 200,000 or 150,000, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
Dream
Now
job.
imagine that you have reached the pinnacle of your sport, and for basically your entire life to be just completely obliterated from basically you wanting to get a divorce and things that are really none of the community's concern, because this is between a husband and a wife, is not our business, for it to basically be the cause of your downfall.
Yeah.
And I get it, infiltration. I get it, bro. I've seen your wife, your ex-wife. She's hot. I get it.
Why is this always the hot ones that are the crazy ones? I'm joking, by the way. But then again, that's also seems to be sort of a true fact of life. Anyways, just everybody, if you hear a situation like this pop up within your community or whatever, play it by ear, see how things go.
Mind your business.
Judge to your best of your ability, and as Chris said, mind your damn business, because some of it, just stay out of it.
And Capcom CEO Combo Breaker Frosty Faustings need to actually give a reason for why he is still not allowed to compete in any of these tournaments.
Just tell us it's bad PR. Hell, but a real reason would be nice. But I doubt we're past that.
No, we're not talking bad PR.
No, I'm saying a real reason would be nice.
Yeah, I'm like, no, because you have pedophiles in the community, and y'all don't ban them.
Oh, some of them have been, but it's so annoying.
And it, like, I don't know, this topic is just really nuanced, especially when it comes to like female players within the scene. And but what happened?
Oh, nothing. No. I'm just closing that bit. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you there.
Oh no, I just thought the whole thing was shut.
No.
But it raises a question about like female players in the scene as well, because we've had a couple of incidents of females in the scene and people jumping to conclusion to their defense, and then finding out later on, well, they might not have been as truthful as you may have thought they was.
Yeah.
But it's a little too late now, because now you ruined this man's career, and everybody thinks he's this, and that's what he's known for. No matter how many years have passed, like I feel like with infiltration, the fact that somebody would go up there, cross out his name on the wall of champions, and put the R word up there.
Yeah, that's oh my god. Just folks, behave. That's all I can tell you. Well, Mr. Chris, I think that's my 2 cents on this whole situation.
He should be allowed to compete, and there's no reason why he shouldn't be allowed, from my perspective.
Same here. Man served his time. He paid the actual penalty to the crime where it happened. So as far as I see it, it's over and done with now. But folks, y'all be safe. This is gonna be it for us tonight.
Yep. Y'all be safe. Have a good night.